Greetings, traveler. Well, here we are again. I applaud your tenacity. You've skillfully sidestepped every obstacle and my crushing jeers and criticisms. However, if you think you've yet again escaped unscathed, think again. Your soul has been stained and will forever bear the scars of your misadventures in hell. Which, by the way, is a title of my new book. It's a great read and contains an assortment of amusing stories. Let me read for you. Once upon a midnight fowl, a curious fellow crossed my path. Wait, traveler, where are you going? I didn't even finish the... Traveler!
Thank you for listening to another entire season of Dead Reckoning. Assuming, of course, you're not one of those sick individuals
Available at all good bookshops.
who cherry-pick episodes rather than following along in sequence.
Misadventures in Hell by...
Okay. Anyway, here's the final episode of Season 2. Enjoy and commiserations. There will be a third season.
Join us.
So for my week in horror, I've gone on a little bit of a trip to But firstly, I watched Perfume: Story of a Murderer, which is just the 2006 sort of murder, gothic horror drama set in 18th century France.
That was a book.
Yeah, it was. It was a German novel that was really popular, but it was turned into a film in 2006. It was it was one of the sort of last few roles that Alan Rickman and also John Hurt is the narrator in it as well. You never see him on screen, but he's the narrator. Dustin Hoffman and Ben Whishaw plays the main character in it, who's this orphan lad. He's called John Baptiste Grenouille, and essentially he's born in a fish market, and his mum just leaves him under the fish counter after he's born. But it turns out he's got a super sense of smell, and he basically
that would have been hard to be left under a fish counter.
I know, yeah.
Worst place to leave a super baby.
The narrator literally makes a point of that. He goes, the modern nose can scarcely imagine what the smell of the fish market in 18th century Paris was like. It's just it just does loads of jump cuts, people throwing offal down a grid and cutting up fish heads and all this stuff like that. And but after he just sort of grows up as an orphan, he ends up working for a tannery, and then he ends up going into to drop off some supplies in in Paris, and then he realizes that perfume makers are a thing, and he's like, oh, I can do that, and he instantly knows how to make all the perfumes because he's just super knows. But it turns out that he's just a fucking psycho, and all he does, he decides that he's gonna because he meets this girl who's a fruit seller, and he instantly senses that she's she's got a really amazing smell, but he accidentally strangles her, and as she dies, the scent goes off her body, and he's like, oh no, what? How can I get the smell back? And it's all about him just trying to preserve smells. So he does what any natural person does and becomes a serial killer, and murders a bunch of women to try and capture their scents, and he ends up distilling the super scent, which makes him into the most adored person on the face of the earth. But he just grows bored of it and then decides to kill himself. But that's
something for everyone.
I know, yeah. It's a lot more dramatic than that sort of thing sounds, but the scenery in it is really good, especially Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman plays this judge in a small village where they make perfume, but a lot of the setting of it and all the sort of the period sets are amazing. It's from 2006. It's probably been on TV a bunch before now, but it's definitely one to check out. The next film on it, which was The Devils by Ken Russell. I sent a couple of screenshots in the chat yesterday when I was watching it, which is absolutely fucking nuts. It's just absolutely insane. And this is the uncut version as well, so it was very much banned around the sort of time that it came out, so it had a very limited release. But it's just absolutely bananas. A lot of the thing about it is as well that it doesn't really have like a very cohesive plot. It's like Oliver Reed's character like turns up at a like a convent, and then all the nuns just start like sort of fawning over him. And then the cardinal who's like working with the King of France is just like really out to get him. And a lot of it is just really weird, sort of surrealist, very sort of avant-garde cinema type scenes. Like there's a bit where they're in like the garden. We're supposed to be like the gardens in Versailles, and like the king of France has got a bunch of convicts dressed up as giant crows, and he like releases them from a cage just so he can like chase them with a pistol. And he's like, come on, my little crows, and he just like shoots them. And
bring back the monarchy in France. That sounds bad. I'd love it if Prince Charles just did that.
I know, yeah. That's how they get rid of people that they don't like. They just dress them up as crows and then shoot them after making a run through a maze. But it's like it's not even like a good crow costume. It's like something that you would see at like a B tier like amusement park. It's like really bad. Well, like a lot of the there's just like so many weird dream sequences of just like Oliver Reed in like some weird situations. At one point he's Jesus. Like there's another point where he's like getting married to one of the nuns like on top of a mountain. And then there's a bunch of stuff where they have like there's just like a mad scene where there's like loads of nuns like cavorting in a giant cathedral. And then for some reason like it just cuts to like one of the nuns just like running up and down a ladder, and like everyone's like running around like completely naked. And then they have a torture scene where it's the guy from George and Mildred and like Last of the Summer Wine. It's one of the. He's like a priest who's also a doctor. But then they're trying to like get the spirits out of the nun by applying like cups, like hot cups to her. But inside the cups are like really massive hornets. It's like this will work. It's like it will not. It's just really weird. And then like. Oliver Reed literally, this is how they used to do it back in the day. Like Oliver Reed completely shaves off his entire hair. Like all of his, like they literally show him like having his hair cut when he's being tortured, and it's literally his actual hair. So they're just literally just scalping him on screen. He's like, yeah, just go ahead. And he's still a really good actor in it. This is like him when he's slightly more coherent, when he's not just like in like taking his pants off on like chat shows and arm wrestling Russell Crowe. But yeah, The Devils by Ken Russell. It's quite a hard watch. It's also got Vanessa Redgrave as a hunchback nun who just like hobbles around, just like shouting at people. So you can watch the whole thing on the Internet Archive. It's got the whole uncut version of the film. But it's just really weird. But it's just a really strange film. But this actually led me on to one that's a bit more of a sort of classical period piece, which is I'm just going to post the Wikipedia into our chat, which is I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this right. It's called the Volduak. It's just recently come out onto it's on Prime, but it's not really available on Prime in most countries. It's a French film, which is it is really interesting, and it's based on a Tolstoy novel called The Family of the Volduak. It is a really good, interesting like French period piece, but the one thing that lets it down is some of the dialogue in it is really amazing. It's like a proper like classical type sort of creepy horror film. The only thing that lets the film down is the actual monster that they have in the film looks like it literally moves like a Muppet, and it is a puppet that looks like it was made for about the budget of about £10, and like it literally moves like a puppet. It makes no sense whatsoever that they went with the choice that the main monster, and he has some really good lines that are dead philosophical. I've posted a couple of pictures of him in the in the chat, and he literally looks like he was made for about the budget of about not even like a tenner. Honestly, like it's so plastic, and it moves like a Muppet. You know, that sort of like crazy sort of like hopping around the stage, like the Muppets do. That's how he moves the whole way through the film, and so it has really weird parts in it as well. There's like the introduction of he's like basically like the main character is this Marquis who's traveling. He's like an envoy for the King of France, and he ends up with his escort getting killed before the film actually starts. And he's just like he goes to like an inn, and the innkeeper refuses to let him in. So he guides. He says you need to go through the forest and go up to the Gorsha house where the Gorsha lives with his family, and then he ends up meeting like the Gorsha's family, or like this witchy sort of like gypsy daughter, like his son who's like he looks like Vlad the Impaler, and like his wife, and then there's like his the other effeminate son, and then like his grandson. But then they say, oh, but when they arrive to like the Gorsha's castle, they say, where's father? And he goes, oh, he's gone off to fight the Turks again. And then you're like, but I've been fighting the Turks. Why did father leave? And then it goes to like the next day, and he goes, if he's not back if he's not back within 6 days at 6 a.m. to just like forget about him. And it has loads of dialogue like that. And then for some reason they're all just eating in the garden. And then they literally do this to go, oh, there he is, there's father, and it just literally pans to like not even like 100 yards away, and there's just like it's just like they've just literally just flopped the puppet on the floor, like at the bottom of the garden. It's like, there he is, and he's just like holding a rifle, and they like prop him up, and he's just like, it's just literally carrying like the unassisted puppet to the table, and then they put him in a chair, and like suddenly he props to life. Like it literally the bad guy of it is a puppet that looks like it was made for about a tenner. Other than that, it's a really good film. Like the dialogue in it is fantastic, and the whole setting of the film is really dramatic. It's just let down by the fact that the main villain of the piece, and the whole point of the film rests on the fact that they have a bad guy who looks like he's basically a sock with eyes. I did
see that. I recognised the name when you said it, and I did see that online. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds like it could be good," but I didn't.
Do you reckon the director was like, every time he sees Steven Spielberg complaining about the shark in Jaws, he's like, "I feel you, brother. I know exactly how you feel. It's what you had. You had to work with it. We can talk." We can talk about stuff.
I'm just pointing. There's a gif in the thing, like this is how it moves. So it's hard to get a sense. Like this is how it moves. Like the entire time it's literally like a Muppet. Literally, he's just being. But it is really dramatic, and like some of the scenes in it and the soundtrack and everything is really good. But it's just let down by the fact that the main vampire is literally a bloody sock on a stick. But like everyone else plays it completely serious as well. Like they're absolutely terrified of him, and it's like his teeth look like they're made out of like plastic bottles.
You know what it was? It was a guy with some sticks with tennis balls on. They were like, "This is going to be a fucking good monster when this is finished." Like
you want
Jurassic Park or something. And then they got to the end and they're like, sorry, how much have we got left?
Another 6 months on this, it's going to be amazing. They're like, no, we need it tomorrow. Like, ah, shit. Yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine.
It's like when a studio executive like goes to where they do all the CGI, and they show them like the first render where it's just like sticks, and it's like, this isn't going to be the final thing, is it? It's like, no. It's going to be upscaled tremendously. It's like, in fact, it was not upscaled tremendously, and this is the final product. But yeah, the Volduak, it's available on Amazon if you want, Amazon Prime if you want to pay for it. But I'm assuming it'll probably be all over various streaming places at some point soon. It was released in 2023, but it's still fairly new in circulation. But if you can put up with the fact that the main vampire looks like he is conjured out of some rags and at the tennis ball, it's worth your time. But yeah, that is my week in horror, which was a trip through 18th and 17th century France.
Oh, I watched a film called The Presence, which I saw when I went to see Nosferatu. It was one of the trailers was Presence, and I thought, I fancy watching that. But they, I wish they would stop doing this of like making a trailer for a film and making it out to be incredibly scary, full of jump scares and like terrifying and the most terrifying film of the year, because it's not scary. It's not really meant to be scary at all. It's so it's a Steven Soderbergh, David Koepp film, and it's about a family, mum, dad, teenage girl, teenage boy, who move into this house, and the girl has just two of her friends have recently died of the same thing, which was a fentanyl overdose, just found dead. And you see the whole thing from the point of view of whatever is in the house, some sort of presence / ghost / poltergeist. And it's all in these little vignettes. So it's just like little scenes that don't flow into one another, because obviously it's the view of what this presence can see. So you don't really go outside the house. It's just in different rooms of the house. And it's got Lucy Liu is in it. It's really good. It's not meant to be scary. It's meant to be, I think, more of a sort of ghosty thriller type thing. And it's got this massive twist at the end, which I did not get whatsoever until I went on, as I immediately do after a film, go and look at the Wikipedia page, and I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, well, now I need to watch this again because of the twist at the end. It was a bit of a Sixth Sense type thing.
Twist at the end was more of a spiral to you.
Well, it was just a straight line.
Sometimes what happens to us, and we have to watch like a YouTube video about it, like the ending explained. You're like, ah.
Oh, you know what? If I'm Googling, like, do I want to spend my time watching this movie? And if you type, whatever movie into Google, and some of the first results are ending explained, I'm like, nope. If people have to ask for the ending to be explained, like this many people for it to be on a Google result, I'm maybe when I've got more time.
It's not that it wasn't explained as much as it wasn't. They lead you down a massive garden path the whole way of the film about what this
not literally, because you can't leave the house.
No, down a hallway, down a long, long hallway. And then at the end of it, like, they just go, oh no, it's not that after all. And it just takes a minute, and it's like, well, hang on, was there more than one presence in there? Or is this who we're talking about? Or all of this and it just left me a little bit, because all of that happens, like the reveal is literally the last 60 seconds of the film. Oh, right. So it's kind of like, and then when I slept on it, I was like, oh, actually that makes it even. I kind of want to watch it again now, because it sort of clues you into a lot of the stuff that was going on throughout it. But it leads you down a particular path of what that presence is, and then completely changes it. So yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I thought the acting was really good. I liked the way that there's just some scenes where you're just watching, like the dad's just watching a baseball game on his phone, drinking a glass of wine, and it's just sort of like, and on the phone. You don't. There's not a lot going on, but you see this thing moving around the house, sort of looking at what's going on. And I did enjoy it. It's not scary. There's no jump scares. There's like three moments of big action, and that's it in the whole thing. But it's just this kind of constant, almost not even dread. It's because the girl, the teenage girl, is the only one at first who knows that this thing, that she can just feel there's something there. She feels it. And senses something, and the rest of them don't. They're all tied up in their own little lives. But there are some, and there is a great moment where they sort of realize, oh shit, there's a poltergeist in the house. But then they're like, I mean, we still have to go back in the house. It's like it's sort of like they're all out on the porch, just kind of looking at each other. And I do like moments like that where you sort of like in the coffee table, where the guy just sort of goes, I mean, I know my baby's head's come off, but I better get rid of this blood and stuff. Better get this broken glass up because it needs to be done. And you know what I mean? It's just when you skip from sort of the shock moment of something happening to the, well, now I have to sort this out moment. Like it can be quite fast. And in horror films, they often don't do that. They just let you sort of go, oh my God. And then the next thing, everything's checked. It's like, well, no, there's got to be that. And there is, when they're all out on the porch going, we're not going back in there. And then there's a scene where they have to kind of go back because that's where they live. So yeah, it was just a bit like, I did think it was good. I don't think they should have marketed it as some hugely scary film because it's gonna, especially when it's coming up against stuff like The Monkey, which is out at the same time, and Companion. Like I just don't know why they pushed it as like it's so scary. It's not. It's just a really nice family. It's a family drama basically, but which has a poltergeist in the middle of it. So I watched that. Really enjoyed that. Also, this wasn't this week, but it was. I meant to mention it last week and forgot. I went to see a production of Dr. Faustus, the play about the doctor who sells his soul to the devil for ultimate knowledge and power.
Can relate.
Oh, yeah. I've done it so many times. The devil's not interested in me anymore. He's like, no, you owe me 4 souls. I'm like, just one more. I really want to know where that frog went. I was following it and then it jumped and I don't know where it is. Help me out.
The devil's like, what kind of car?
The devil's like,
no, definitely not.
You're so whimsical, but just no, you know. You could just wonder where the frog went. I want to know where he went.
It's like one of my favourite Family Guy cutaways. It's like this is like that time me and CeeLo like met a genie. It's like I wish I was a baller. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I had a rabbit and a hat and a bat. And he like everybody goes, CeeLo, you should have asked for money. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, so watched Faustus. So it's good. It's basically there's tons of demons in it, a load of demons in it, and I was really entertained by it because it was sort of at the beginning. It was written by Christopher Marlowe, so he's knocking about at Shakespeare time, isn't he? And the front row were completely baffled. Literally just got off the bus from like Palace Fields, and they're all like, "Oh," you know, when you invite your friends, like you say to your friends and family, like, "Oh, I'm in a play." No, "Oh, we'll come and watch her." It's like, I don't think it's your cup of tea, but you don't want to be insulting. I go, "Look, you're too thick to appreciate this. Just leave it." If I'm ever in one of those plays about 4 women going the bingo, I will let you know. But this is a serious play.
It's one of her highbrow plays.
Yeah, this has got like long words in it and stuff. But at the beginning, they were all like, everyone was looking so baffled.
What are you wearing tights for, you meth?
Just waiting for the song. Is there a song in it? No. Why would there be? No.
Is it Extras or something where Ricky Gervais is in the play?
Yeah, it's very much like that. Yeah. You can see this. You can almost sense the people on stage going, "Oh, everyone from my work's here. Oh, I work in a factory. I'm the only actor." And they're all like, "What the fuck are you doing up there?" Don't understand the fucking word, lad, but you're very good for getting up there. I couldn't do it. You know, it's always kind of, but it's because they, and it's good of them to do stuff like that. And not just go, we're just going to do lowest common denominator shit. Because that's what people like. But going, no, do you know what? You're going to watch fucking Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. That's what you're going to watch. And then it was good. I like the way they did it.
I was hoping for Jim Davidson's Cinderella. Like, what is this shit?
Well, what? So at one point, oh God, I've forgotten which particular. You know, what's his name? Lucifer shows up, right? So Lucifer shows up. And there's loads of devils in it. And I was like, which is, it's the main devil, the main boy. He shows up and he's like limping and he's got like the guy playing him, these are all friends of mine, by the way, because I do the musical side and the music side, and they do the acting side. And he's like sort of limping and both limping and crouching and stuff. And then, so then it comes to half time, and there's nothing like seeing Lucifer in character say, "It is now half time, and we will draw the raffle." And you're like, what the fuck? We'll draw the raffle. It's like, so it kind of takes you out of it a little bit. And then
the bar is now open for a selection of snacks and refreshments.
It was literally like, and now we will draw the raffle. And then he drew it in character. I was like, this is fucking weird. You don't get this at the Dunmar. And when I asked later, because I got a lift up with the person who was directing it, and I was like, why was he limping? Was that just a character thing? And he went, he misunderstood because we told him that Lucifer fell from heaven, and he took that literally.
Fuck off.
It's like, no, a fall from grace means he's out of God's favor. It doesn't mean he literally fell out of the fucking sky. But I started doing that, and when he said about 2 weeks before the play, someone literally went, "What's the limp about?" And he went, "Well, I've fallen a long way, haven't I?" Brilliant, absolutely fucking. It worked. It wasn't like. Well, I just thought, he's just being a creep, because sometimes people play Lucifer as like this Patrick Bateman style, like swish guy who's like, and I thought, he's playing him as some kind of, nasty weirdo, and that's cool. But then that explanation just fucking killed me. He fell from grace. Yeah. All right. Have you ever fallen in love? You know how you didn't literally hit the deck? Maybe he did. Maybe he has every single time. He's just fallen on the fucking floor.
His wife's a nurse.
His wife.
He's got that. He's got that thing that like goats have, where they if they get excited, they fall over. But every time he gets he gets rejected, he's like, it's like spasms.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And then the other thing I've done is finally finish that fucking Stephen King collection. I finally finished it.
The anthology.
Yeah, so I would say 2 of the 4 are worth reading, maybe 3 at a push. The third one in the book isn't worth reading. The final one was called The Sundog, and it's about a kid who gets a Polaroid camera, and every time he takes a picture, there's a little something in it he didn't expect, and it turns out when you put all of these pictures, he takes hundreds of pictures, and when you put them together, it's almost like a flick book of what looks like a big black dog in the background, getting slowly closer, and then when it actually gets really close up, you see it's some sort of demon that's approaching, and every single picture you take with it. And I kind of appreciated that, but it took so long to get there. It took so long to get there, with a little side trip where this guy who's helping him fix the camera goes and tries to sell it to 3 lunatics who like ghosts, and that's. I was like, what's this in here for? You don't need that. You can cut all that out. That needs editing hours. It doesn't add anything to it. And then in the end, it's kind of if you're gonna read the story, skip forward 2 minutes. But at the end, it's sort of he defeats the demon or whatever. So it's something happens to it. He wins anyway, and then he asks. So the kid's got this camera as a birthday present, and he asks for another birthday present on his following birthday, and he gets a typewriter. And when he starts typing, it's saying, right, that dog who's in them pictures, he's fucking pissed and he's coming after you. And it's like, it should be a really sort of ending, but it's like, what? Leave this fucking kid alone. He's done nothing. What? There's nothing. There's not a single thing in the story to suggest he's been trying to get in touch with the occult, that he's a bad kid, that he's got a curse on him. He's just a normal kid. And it's like, why the fuck is someone leave him alone?
Can you imagine him opening his present as a typewriter? He's like, fucking hell, Dad. I told you about the dog thing, didn't I? Give me a fucking skateboard or something. Just
money would be just vouchers for me, you know. Next time someone says, "Oh, do you know what? Don't get me anything. Just get me a voucher or some cash or something," I'm going to say, "Is it because there's a devil dog after you?" Like, what? No. Yeah, I get it. Devil dog. Yeah. So, I'd give the whole book a miss of it. Honestly, I don't know. It's so fucking huge.
Fucking book.
It's so big. Like, it's a big old thing. The Langoliers was pretty good. The second one, Secret Garden, Secret Window, was fine, but didn't make any sense. The third one, The Library Policeman, was just shit. And the fourth one started well. And then I was actually like, this has started good. I think this is going to be good. And then I was just like, how much longer is this fucking thing to have to go? Like, just get to the point. Like, and then I was just like, oh no.
I was going to say that thing with the dog is the exact same premise as one of the movies I watched, but I imagine there's a lot of that. I think even in one of the Insidious movies, every time he takes a photo, the presence is like closer to him, and then he just stops taking photos or something.
Yeah, that's what you would think would happen, right? But they don't. They just keep taking fucking pictures. So just stop taking pictures. Like, and the kids like, I just want to smash it with a hammer. And all the adults are like, wait a minute.
Let me have a look.
I paid $40 for that camera, and it's like,
stop
Dad,
pushing the button.
It's got a fucking demon in it. Just fucking smash it.
Have you tried changing the batteries?
I was like, one of the people, so he in the story, he takes it to this guy who's like a secondhand merchant, and his dad's like, this guy probably know how to fix it or whatever if it's broken or blah blah blah. And because you don't see immediately what it is, it's just like smudges on it, you know, it just looks like there's something wrong with it. And I was just picturing my dad would be exactly like that. If he saw me, like, he's like, Dad, can I borrow a hammer? Like, what for? Like, I'm going to smash up this Polaroid camera. He'd be like, well, let's wait a minute. I could fix that camera. I was like, I don't want you to fix it. It's got a demon in it, Dad. I want it fucking gone. Well, let's just tell you. And then the next thing, like, he's let himself into my house. The camera's gone, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, Dad. Listen, Chris,
now.
I've taken another 600 pictures, and that demon is going to get you any second now. Fuck! I'm just going to take one more. Like, stop! Just fucking stop! That's our dad all over.
Maybe it's gone now. Let's me just check.
I went round a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, I said, "Where's my dad?" He's like, he's at the dining table. I thought, oh God, what's he doing? Like, that means he's fixing something.
It's his workshop.
And he's got like. Yeah, not like he's got a whole room, which is where he's meant to like work and do stuff. He also needs a dining table to do that. And then he was fixing a little 8mm film projector. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And he got it working. And
watching your snuff movies on.
Well, he's got, so someone had come into his shop. Someone had brought all of these like film reels into the shop and said, I want to know what's on these. I think it's my family videos and stuff. But they didn't have a projector, so we got this kind of thing, but it wasn't working so well, and he fixed it. But then when I looked at the actual like wire to the plug, it was absolutely fucked, and I was like, "Oh my God, stop using it!" Like, if you keep that, and I was just thinking that's going to burn the house down. Absolutely going to burn the house down.
That's also the plot of the movie Sinister, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let them stay unwatched.
Well, he was showing me a cartoon, a Mickey Mouse cartoon from like the 1920s, and it's one of them with the look kind of like your vampire there, Jed, in that other film, just kind of jerky, it's kind of jerky movements, and it's fighting a lion and stuff, and there's racist Zulus in the back or whatever. And he's like, it's good, isn't it? I'm like, it is good. How do you feel about the old plug and the wire? He's like, I'll be fine. Will it though? I think I gave him that projector because I found a load of old camera, like I've got a Super 8 camera here. I found a load of old stuff. I was like, me dad will have that. Like, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the house is going to burn down.
I remember us having, for some reason, an 8mm film thing. I think I may have brought some bits back when I was making videos and things, because I had like a little splicer as well.
Yeah, that's it. It's your stuff
bits.
Then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a case that you open the top.
Yeah, but also there's an 8mm camera. There's a Super 8 camera. Yeah.
I think I got all that for editing video stuff together.
Yeah, well, it's now going to burn down the house. So Yay!
Well, let's see you tie that to me.
And that's my week in horror. Possibly my dad's house is going to burn down. See you later, kids.
That's season 3, episode 1 right there. Well, my week in horror, I watched a couple of movies, and there was just some regular stuff that kind of, let's just throw it in. It's the last episode, we'll just throw it in. Who cares? So these are sort of little vignettes. They don't really fit together in any way. But so it's funny when you're talking about presents, and there's like a you're watching it come into every room and just see what's going on, and then it goes out into a different room and whatnot. So I got Finn this little drone for his birthday, and you can hook it up to your phone and you can watch the video. And I was like, oh, you could watch it and drive it around. And because he's 7, so he doesn't really listen to anything you say. And I'm like, I better figure out how this works so I can give him a quick 10-second, this is how you do it, go. Otherwise, he's not going to listen to a word I'm saying. And I was messing with driving it around, and God, I was thinking, I'll just look at the screen and I can just fly it around because it'll be like I'm there, like walking around. No, it's not that at all. And I accidentally fly into the back of Melody's head, and the blades tangle around her hair. And it gets stuck in her hair.
Oh no!
And this poor girl,
baby.
she was having a fringe in her eyes constantly. And Kath, the day before her photo day at school, was like, I'll just cut it. And she's doing that thing where she lifts a chunk of her hair up and says, hold this, doing it properly almost. And then when she let it go, it's the most fucked fringe you'd ever seen in your life. Like an advert for a hairdressers, And I'm like, oh my God. And then said after that, we have to take her somewhere. The only place we could take her that will actually be able to fix what's happened. It was like $40. There's a proper salon we took her to. And they fixed it. And then the next day, this is like 3 haircuts in 3 days. And then I fly a fucking drone into the back of her head. And I've got to cut out shitloads of her hair to get this thing out. The poor girl.
Oh, baby.
She looks like a daycare doll.
That happened to me with it was like, do you remember when the hamster dance was like a thing where it's like that? He had these toys that were like hamsters that I think my mum got it on like St. John's Market in Liverpool. And it was like a hamster with like a pair of nunchucks. And for some reason someone put it on my sister's head and then just let it go. And my sister got a hamster toy with a pair of nunchucks just wrapped around the top of her head. And my dad was like, we're gonna have to cut it. And she's like, don't fucking cut my hair. Just get it off. But it's like, we did have to cut it out of her hair. Hamster nunchuck.
Sure. So on the subject of hair, also while I was at the barbers, they're quite cool people from Melbourne, a little bit hipster. I was talking to. We always talk about heaps of stuff. I was talking to about somewhere. This is bizarre. Somewhere on the conversation about kids. Do you get a break at school holidays? School holidays? When school holidays? And then teachers get loads of holidays. And then it's like, oh yeah, but they pay for, they do a lot of work, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, well, my teachers used to just put on videos all the time and it was leading up to holidays. And then it got onto, one of the barbers said, oh, we managed to get, our teacher wasn't paying any attention. We managed to get a good screening of Freddie Got Fingered once at school. and then I was like, oh, and they were talking about, we were doing all quotes and stuff out of the movie. And I was like, Tom Green is now a serious country musician. And I was watching this video and it's him in a field with his acoustic guitar doing these remembering the good old days, old fella smiles while he's singing about whiskey and all kinds of stuff, thinking it's a big fucking joke, and it's not. It is dead serious. It's really serious. And I mentioned it, and then they put the whole... so while I was having my hair cut, I had to listen to the whole fucking album. And I'm like, that's not the energy I brought it to this. This wasn't the point.
Imagine the suggestions though, if you like this tune, maybe you're like, my bum is on the rail. My bum is on the rail. My bum is on the rail. Like, Daddy, would you like some
Like some
sausage? It's like,
sausage.
if you liked country, guns, lifetime, and love, maybe you're like, Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Yeah, other albums by this artist. What? Oh.
There was a bit as well, like Tom Green, he's like known for doing like mad shit. I remember watching his TV show, and like it was just after he like had his testicle out, he just like he got it from out. He had like testicular cancer, and he's doing like a general chat show, and then he just gets his testicle like out in a jar out from under his desk, and he goes, "Here's my ball." At one point as well, he's like doing a general chat show, and he just goes, he goes, "Hey, come on!" He like stops the chat show, and he goes, "Hey, check this out!" And then he gets the cameraman to like follow him into the toilet. He has a shit, and then he squeezes the shit out, then takes the shit out of the bowl, and then just walks back to his desk, and he tries to continue the conversation, just like holding it in his hand. Oh god!
See, I'm thinking maybe he's like, he got to a certain age. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to be more serious now. But he just went way too far and ended up as a country singer.
He's just like doing videos on Rumble, telling you how to like get like selling you colloidal silver and telling you to get like a water filler.
I'd love to have been in the room where they're removing his testicle and the doctors are like, "Do you think he was serious about keeping it in a jar?" And they're like, what was it, a joke? Do you think it was a joke or real? And they're like, "We better do it. Because what if we better..." They normally would not just keep that like, do you want this? Like, you know what I mean? They just throw it away.
What? There's certain things that they would ask if you wanted to keep, and certain things that, no, that doesn't happen. You don't get to keep it. I think.
Yeah, like kidney stones, like big stones and stuff, don't they? They're like, you can keep that if you want it. I don't know why you would. Like, that was it.
I've seen a thing online where a guy had a hip replacement and they let him keep his hip bone to like turn it into a walking stick.
Yeah,
cool.
that's pretty cool. I don't think if like you're in there and it's, do you want the ball or?
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't.
We were just going to burn it.
With the hip bone. Do you want the hip bone? It would be a specific request.
Oh, God. Freddy Got Fingered has got some of the weirdest parts. It's like one of the lowest rated films on Rotten Tomatoes, but I fucking love that movie. It's like, there's parts of it as well that I just quote like out of the blue. It's like, "I moved our house to Pakistan, Daddy." You're a goddamn imbecile.
There's a film podcast called Films to be Buried With, and one of the questions on that is like, what's a film that was not critically acclaimed but that you love? And I feel like if you went on that, it would end the podcast. They would be like, we're not answering that. No. Did you just say fucking Freddy Got Fingered? No, they would never have the podcast is over. We're not even going to finish the episode. Get out.
It's like there's some bits in it that just like aren't like, there's some bits in it that aren't really referenced very often, which is some of the most, like, "Daddy, would you like some sausage?" is clearly one of the bits that everyone remembers. But there's like the backwards man.
The backwards man.
A suit on backwards.
So
he's just like walking back and forth in front of the mirror.
I can walk backwards faster than you can.
There's a bit as well when he gets a job in a factory. There's like a conveyor belt for like cheese, and then he's just riding on the conveyor belt. He's like, "I am the cheese man. Cheese."
I used to always quote parts out of where he takes his girlfriend to the restaurant and he's like screaming, "You're fired," down the phone at nobody. Well, actually, on the subject of crazy Tom Greenness, Cass sends me these things on Instagram, and one of them's like, she'll send me like, with these magnet blocks, you can make this special like racetrack thing. It's really cool. And you can make this paper aeroplane that you can, it's got an elastic band and you shoot it out of the thing and whatever. And some of the ones that she was talking to, and she shows them to Finn sometimes as well. And he's like, "Oh, can you build me a turtle hotel?" And I'm like, "A frog hotel, sorry." "What the fuck is a frog hotel?" "No, I can't build you a frog hotel." I was like, "No, it's an Instagram thing." I mean, it'd end up full of poisonous cane toads, so that's a bad idea. But she's like, "Oh, no, it's an Instagram thing he's seen." And one of the things she showed him was this thing where you put tinfoil around the end of a match and like stick it in something, like put a hole in some cardboard and stick it in it, and then you put a candle underneath. And when it heats it up and the match ignites from the heat, it's got nowhere else to go but out of the bottom of the tinfoil. So it's basically a little rocket launcher. So you're firing lit matches. And I'm like, sorry, why did you show him that? And he's like asking me to make it. I'm like, what? So yeah, if next season 3, episode 1, Dad's house burns down, my house burns down. There's an 8mm film projector that's been improperly repaired. And Finded the matches are Rockets game.
I was gonna. This is not for broadcast, but I was gonna suggest we do like a little in the 3rd series, like horror tropes, that like things that keep popping up in different horror films.
Mm.
Because I was thinking about that when we were talking about the people dropping glasses of wine on the floor in films in giant kitchens. It's like that would be a good one for fire.
Also, like I've never like fallen over and then like not been able to like get up straight away when I'm about to like crawl on the floor. It's like that never happened. If I fall over within about 2 seconds, I'm back up again. Like never have I fell over and then the first instinct was to crawl.
Better stay down.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's like if I fall over, I'll go, oh, that was unfortunate, and I'm getting up straight away. I'm not going to like slowly crawl or slowly crawl on my back as well. Or they do like a pushing themselves along the floor, like a.
Right.
This is faster than just getting up.
Edging away. Yeah, the other one, it's not really horror. I just thought it was funny. I think I sent it to you guys already, but we went to this place that had a little playground and a petting zoo. They couldn't really use a playground because everything was baking hot because it was in the sun. But where they set up the petting zoo, there's a big sign out the front at this, like, it's one of these places where there's like a number of restaurants and bars. There's a distillery there. It's like this, center just out in the middle of nowhere. And it was a petting zoo, and it's set up and it says roastery on this big sign. It's where they do all the roast meats, and that's where they chose to set up the petting zoo. I was saying it's something like old McDonald's traveling farms or something like that. And I was like, you will see that logo
steakhouse
on the menu. Yeah, bottom right of the menu. Hey, hang on, isn't that the?
I did see something on Instagram which was a little sign that says, "Hi, our goats are not here right now. We rehome our goats during the winter." And then like when you pan out, there's a big sign that goes, "Goat meat for sale in the freezer." Like, which one of these signs went up first?
Rehome them in my belly. So I watched, which I haven't seen before, and they're quite good, which is rare. It's one of these things, you trawl the internet looking for horror movie suggestions, and they're never any good, and you just devote so much time to it. But occasionally you get a gem. Occasionally there's a fleck of gold in your pan, and you think, I'm going to keep doing this. So the first one was called Butterfly Kisses, and it's found footage. It's about a failed film director who now does wedding videos and stuff. He obviously went to video school.
I went to video school, young man.
Spent 4 years at video school. He obviously studied, and he didn't go anywhere, and he's just doing wedding videos stuff. Anyway, apparently his in-laws found this box of tapes that says "Do not watch" on it in a shoebox in the basement. And it's funny, they get all these like actual directors and people involved in filmmaking, like the real people commenting on it, which is a nice touch, and saying, "Oh, it's strange that you would have found that, and I don't believe it," because he's trying to pass it off as 100% real, but he's then creating a film from them, and they're like, "Why wouldn't you just release them as they are? Like if it's found footage, why are you now making your own movie from this?" And they're trying to make out like he's a fraud and everything. And the whole thing is basically, story aside, it's just going after this guy. Like everyone. They don't believe him. No one really likes him. He's not a very personable guy, and he just gets torn to shreds. He ends up on a radio show, which is like his last hope. And I can't remember his name. The director from the guy who created Blair Witch Project is on it, and he's like really excited, and he just rips him to shreds. And it's kind of sad in that way. And you're like watching someone who's like just desperate to have their dream come true, and it all falls apart for them. But the story in the middle of it is these two high school students go after this urban legend. I'll insert the name. I can't remember the name of the monster. Something like
Edit, the monster is unfortunately named Peeping Tom.
Like a Slender Man sort of thing. And they go after the guy. And apparently if you stare, and this is dumb as well, like they could have, someone's written this, obviously it's not a real urban legend, they could have like changed it a bit. If you stare down this railway tunnel between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m., so if you stare down it without blinking for an hour, this entity rises up. And it's like, they even say in the movie, like, that's impossible. Like, it's impossible to do that. So that's just dumb. They could have, tweaked that a little bit to make it a bit more believable. But anyway, what they do is they set up a camera because they're like, well, that's a lens. It's like exactly like an eye, and it's not blinking. Anyway, they capture the guy, this monster, and every time you blink, he gets closer. So every time but then they figure out, well, it's a camera, it's fine. But when they stop the camera and then they start recording again, when they keep making their little movie about him for their course that they've got to do, this is their assignment. He's closer, and the guy keeps spotting him. There's a girl and a guy. The girl is like this, has won awards for doing movies in school. The guy hasn't, and he seems to be like, he's repeated this year already. He's a great techie, but he's never really got anywhere or done anything. So they're thinking like he had the skills to be able to insert this in there, and isn't it very convenient, blah, blah, blah. So it's very interesting in a sort of like, don't believe everything you see and whatnot. But the butterfly kisses part that really got me as a bit creepy is apparently this guy. It's like a tall guy in a like a top hat, like a creepy, like Babadook sort of character. When he gets really close, you can't blink, because if you blink and he's that close, he'll kill you. And what he does when he's that close, apparently he's got very, very long eyelashes, and he tries to tickle you like butterfly kisses.
Ow.
Right? And he tries to tickle you to make you blink. But then there's like the guy in it who's supposedly like he's captured on this film, and he's getting closer and closer and closer. And you see him, and he's like wrecked, and all his face and his eyes are red and everything. He's like, they don't tickle, they itch. They really itch. And there's loads of creepy bits like that in it that made it actually quite good. As a whole, it's good. Like, it is fairly scary with that sort of like, like the Insidious story with the woman in black, and It Follows, that sort of thing, where it's getting closer and closer and you can't do anything. So that was really good. And then after that, it wasn't that late. It was that point where you're like, I could, like, if it was half an hour later, no, I'll be going to bed. But it's that dangerous sort of amount of time left where you'd be like, I could be up till 2 a.m. here, let's face it. And this other movie started playing. I wasn't going to watch it because of the title, and I've seen this bouncing around a lot. I've seen it a lot of times before. Death of a Vlogger. And I actually said to Kat in the car, the movie's called Death of a Vlogger, and she burst out laughing at me.
A Vlogger.
Because I don't know, because I'm old and stupid. And anyway, I started watching it. I was like, I'm not going to watch this when I turn it, because it's just dumb. It's really good. It's really good. And it is scary. I found it quite scary, some parts of it as well. It's a haunting done really, really well. And it's a little bit cringy. Like, the actors are, a lot of these found footage things, or things that are supposed to be like real, like documentary sort of stuff. Sometimes it's done well. Like, there's an Australian movie called The Tunnel that I've mentioned on here before, where they absolutely nail it, and it's 100% believable that it could have been a real documentary. And then there's other times where it's just like, oh God, these actors, and they just like ruin it. So that was very good. So the other one was called, it's called The Borderlands everywhere except in America, where it's called The Last Prayer. And it's about, it's like a priest and a video tech guy who's employed. And basically the church sends him to investigate claims of, visions and hauntings and all kinds of stuff. And there's this priest who says, he was doing a baptism and everything started shaking and a cup fell off and a bright light came in. So they go and investigate. Again, that is, you've really got to get over the acting, because it's just, and the techie guy who's the first person you see in it, and he's in it for quite a bit before anyone else is so irritating. And I was like, I can't watch this. It's so bad. And they're doing it, but then it's supposed to be like a found footage shot thing. Like they all got to wear their like body cams sort of things or their head cams the whole time. But they're all acting like it's just like a low budget movie. Like they're acting. So that's a bit off-putting, but the ending of it is quite scary and quite creepy and everything all the way through. It is they do it really well. The ending is probably one of the most crazy endings I've seen to a horror movie. It's nuts. You've just got to watch it. You can get it. I watched it on YouTube, actually. I think the whole movie was on YouTube. But the ending is it's not what you expect at all. And it's absolutely bonkers. And it's a good ending. It's one of those like St. Maud endings where you're like, oh, fuck. Wow. So that was cool. I can't believe we've not mentioned this yet. And I was thinking of saving it, but let's just do it now because I watched a little bit of it recently. I think there was 6 episodes, kind of like, Fawlty Towers. There's only a few episodes of that, wasn't there? Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
Oh, yeah.
How fucking good was that?
Yeah, it was good.
That was so good. So for people who haven't seen it, so Garth Marenghi, oh God, how does he introduce himself? He's so good.
The visionary,
author,
Dreamweaver
visionary.
Yeah, author, writer, director, author, visionary, and Dreamweaver.
So the titular Garth Marenghi, played by Matthew Holness. Oh fuck, he's your typical, absolutely full of himself. I'm god of the writing world author, but he's author, director, star, visionary, stuntman, and he starts everyone with "Greetings, traveler."
Greetings, traveler.
Which is where I stole it from for this podcast. And he reads an excerpt from his books, which is always absolutely amazing.
Mike stared in disbelief as his hands fell off. From them rose millions of tiny maggots. Maggots? Maggots. 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 All over the floor of the post office in Leytonstone.
Then he talks about, he's kind of bitter about how they axed his series, or they wouldn't release it until now, and he's got the tapes. Like one of the best things to ever come out of the BBC, and how they were too scared of this, like, to quote him, balls to the wall horror. And it's Matthew Holness in it, his main character. He's just amazing. He's one of my favorite characters ever. I love him so much in that. Richard Ayoade, who's Dean Lerner, who's his like direct report boss, the big boss being Wonton, who you never see. Matt Berry as Todd Rivers, it's like very 70s, and on the intro show he's like firing a gun and stuff, even though he's a surgeon. He's a hotshot surgeon. Alice Lowe plays Madeline Wool, who's the first episode introduces her. She's like the new woman doctor who comes onto the scene. It's got so many people in it. Noel Field and Julian Barrett are in it as well. Stephen Merchant is amazing as a chef. They do 6 episodes, so I'll just read a little bit from each one. So episode 1 is called Once a Beginning. So Dark Place is the hospital. It's like a 70s hospital, it's got a Prince of Darkness vibe to it, but it's like in a hospital and it's a 70s thing. I'm trying to think of another movie that was like that. Into the Void, I think it was. The Void, it was called. Similar sort of vein. So new doctor Liz Asher is tipped off by a psychic cat that there's a darkness in Dark Place. When a patient mysteriously dies, Dr. Rick Douglas, MD, which is kind of Garth Marenghi's character, must scalpel up and fight the forces of evil. That's got one of my favorite lines of all time. It's Dean Lerner's just like firing they end up. This guy's like a very good friend of Rick Douglas, the main character, and he asked they're all at his funeral. and he was possessed by a demon or something, and he rises from the grave, and it's in broad daylight, and it just all falls into like absolute pandemonium. And Richard Ayoade as Dean Learners just stood in a trench coat, just repeatedly firing a shotgun in all directions. And the best line, "That's the mother, Rick." Oh my god! If you've not seen that place.
Dean Lerner got like a one shot like a spin-off series as well, which is like a faux chat show, like man to man with Dean Lerner, and all the guests are just like made up people, like in the universe of like Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. It's like it actually went out as an actual chat show, and like people were watching it on Channel 4. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, who's he interviewing? Like this?
So it's like a running commentary, isn't it? And each episode is like it'll cut to like. Dean Lerner like sat in like the director's chair talking about what was going on at the time and all their relationships during the filming and stuff, which is good. Hell Hath Fury. Horror author Garth Marenghi investigates after a hospital chef is savagely attacked with a ladle. That's the Where's This Flipping Chicken episode with Stephen Merchant. Women like you are the reason this chicken's late in the first place. The Apes of Wrath, where Noel Fielding, dressed as an ape, urinates. He escapes from some like lab or something, or he's been held somewhere. He urinates in a water cooler, and it's like green, but they're all still drinking it, and it turns them all into apes. That's the Apes of Wrath. Scotch Mist, where he's describing what happened. And he says, and Rick Douglas is like, yeah, Scotch Mist. That's like it's like the movie The Fog, but they're Scottish. They're just Scottish people. Skipper the Eye Child, sorry I missed. Which is I'm not going to, that was just too nuts to explain, but it goes, there's Rick Douglas struggles with it because of his own child who was part grasshopper. Did he like, it was something like one day he jumped too high and got caught in the propellers of a fucking helicopter or something. And then Dr. Sanchez falls in love with a patient infected with cosmic broccoli that threatens to spread. I can't remember the name of that. Here we go. I've got it. The Creeping Moss from the Shores of Shuggoth was the final episode. But, you know, it's 6 episodes, just TV length, like 20, 25 minutes, something like that. All on YouTube, 100% free. If you like comedy at all, or sci-fi or horror, man, I think everyone should watch it. I can't think of a single person who would not like it if they watched it.
That's my next thing to show Lewis, because he would never have seen that.
It's one of my favourite things in the world.
We seem to spend our entire lives just going, what should we watch? What should we watch? What should we watch? So now I could just be like, we're watching this, Lewis. We're watching this.
He also like Matthew Holness does. He's released two, like Garth Marenghi has like a massive fictional like bibliography, but he has actually released like 2 like real novels as Garth Marenghi called Garth Marenghi's Terror Tome and Garth Marenghi's like in Caesarea, and he did tours where he would like read the book on stage like, in full character, and you can get it, you can get it on like Spotify or Audible. You can get the audio books, and they're absolutely hilarious because it's literally just, it's exactly like that. It's like he hasn't even skipped a beat. He just goes straight into it. These are both like released like a year after each other, like 2022 and then like 2023. Like Terror Tome and in Caesarea, like they're exactly like the TV show.
This is the last bit we're going to do for this season. I thought we'd just play some little games.
Yay!
One of them I really want to play, and we've got to work out how to play it because it's so cool. But it's the one my father-in-law David got me. It's the Grave Robbers. What's it called? Grave Robbers from Outer Space. B-movie card game.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a cool game, but when I was like looking at the rules before, I was like, look, we've got to play it this time. I'll look up the rules.
Like one of them convoluted board games. If you roll a 3, you got to step back in 2 stages. If you roll a 4, you've got to restart the game, but you only can go backwards.
Oh no!
And each answer has to be like an anagram.
It's not that. It's actually quite straightforward. The problem is, and I don't even know if I can play it with what I have. So I've got you get all these like feature packs. You get a deck of cards, so you get multiple feature packs and the cards themselves and all sorts of add-ons and whatever. It can be played with 2 to 6 players, but the sweet spot is really 2 to 4. Keep that in mind. So potentially 6, but usually 4 people. The first line in the rules, to start, each player builds a deck of 50 unique cards. 50 cards.
That's the first hour gone.
Well, in the Pokemon Magic the Gathering is the shit.
So you need 10 characters, 10 creatures, 9 special effects, 6 locations, 6 props, 6 plot twists, and 3 roll the credits cards.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
So just looking at it, it's probably too much for us to do now on a whim. I should have prepared better. But what we'll do is we will endeavour to play this before Season 3. And Episode 1 of Season 3, we will unleash our B-movie horror movies.
So will you have to post us the cards?
Well, I just take photos. And because you know what? By the time I've taken the photos of 50 cards, I can't remember what cards you've got. When I'm editing these episodes, I can't even remember what we discussed on the episodes, to be honest. It's like a few days later. So I thought we'd do another quiz from the horror movie quiz book that we've got from Dark Corners.
Yeah.
Personal gift, Dark Corners, by David. And Kirsty, you got me a book for Christmas. Would You Rather Horror Edition?
Oh, yeah. I did.
Now,
is it any good?
Keep in mind, some of them are. Keep in mind that there's 3 to 4 of these on every sort of, I don't know what you'd call it. Not every, there's 1 to 2 on each page, I'd say. Every time you open the book, you're presented with 4, or, you know, the way pages work. And there's 127 pages. So some of them don't make sense. Some of them are a bit of a stretch, but there's some good ones in there. So we'll do that too. So first of all, we'll do the horror movie quiz. Then we'll do that. Then we'll go through the answers to the quiz. Taglines. Slashers. Match the classic slasher film to its tagline.
Okay.
All right, Sisters in Life, Sisters in Death. Friday 13th, Part 3. Don't Go Into the Woods, Tourist Trap, Student Bodies, The House on Sorority Row, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Cheerleader Camp, Nightmare on Elm Street, Prom Night, Halloween.
Number 1. Sisters in Life, Sisters in Death.
Sorority Row. House on Sorority Row.
I'm going to say Sorority Row from context.
Yeah.
Everyone is entitled to one good scare.
Halloween.
Thank you.
A new dimension in terror.
Something 3D, innit?
Is it like
Is it
Jason or Friday 13th or something? Friday 13th, Part 3.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Every year, young girls disappear.
I think that might be Prom Night.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Either that or Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Or Silent Night, Deadly. Yeah.
Number 5, though. If you're not back by midnight, you won't be coming home.
That could be Prom Night, couldn't it?
That could be Prom Night.
Yeah.
That sounds more like it. 6.
Everyone has nightmares about the ugliest way to die.
No clue.
Is that just a Nightmare on Elm Street? This is making great radio. Just various.
Don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I regret picking this quiz. 7. If you've made it through Halloween, now try and survive Christmas. That's got to be
Silent
Silent
Night.
Night.
Deadly Night, 100%.
8. Oh, God. 13 and a half murders plus 1,423 laughs equals...
We're so good at this. Student bodies?
Yeah, sounds like it could be.
You think? Sounds like that could be a silly film.
The next one is 9. Give me a K. Give me an I. Give me an L. Give me an L. Cheerleader camp. And 10. This is what I think is Nightmare on Elm Street. If Nancy doesn't wake up screaming, she won't wake up at all.
Yeah, that's right. I was, as soon as I said, is it Nightmare on Elm Street? I thought, no, I know what that one is. Yeah.
There's not many horror Nancy's. That's the one.
Number 1, Sisters in Life, Sisters in Death, House on Sorority Row. We got that. 2, Everyone's Entitled to One Good Square Halloween. New Dimension in Terror, blah, 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 Friday 13th. Every year, young girls disappear is Tourist Trap. If you're not back by midnight, you won't be coming home, Prom Night. Everyone has nightmares about the ugliest way to die. Don't go into the woods alone. I don't understand the tagline, it's awful. Made it through Halloween, I'm trying to survive Christmas, is Silent Night, Deadly Night. 13, blah, 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 murders, laughs equals student bodies. Yep. Cheerleader camp. And Nightmare on Elm Street is number 10. So we got most of those just from context.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
really.
But I think some of them are way too obscure to know what the tagline is without the answers in front of you.
And they've given you multiple choice, I think, because of that.
Yeah.
All right, now to go out, you've got to each answer a would you rather.
Okay.
And I will answer one as well. I'm just going to...
I would rather not.
You don't have a choice. This is for you, Jed. Would you rather physically bury your head in sand whenever something uncomfortable happens, or literally laugh your head clean off your body? It actually says, literally laugh your head clean off your neck at anything funny. Anything funny.
I mean, I probably laugh too much for that to be sort of like a thing that I wouldn't get annoyed at. So,
do you want to die with your head flying off your neck, or do you want to bury your head in sand?
But the thing is, though, if it would fly off my neck, like if that was a thing, would it come back on? Like, would I be able to attach my head back on again?
Following that, fear fact, there are at least 10 recorded cases of someone dying from laughter. I want to check these.
So, yeah, you go to like a comedy club and you're like, well, where's my seat? It hasn't even started yet and you're already dead. But if I put my head in the sand, I'd be worried that like worms would go into my ears. Or like, so like,
you'd rather
I don't want
not laugh for fear of your head flying off.
Yeah, I don't want worms to go in my ear, so I'd rather have my head fall off.
I mean, if you actually got like, let's say you find something slightly, I mean, that's literally me 500 times a day. Have I just got to carry around a bag of sand? Or every time it happens, have I got to go to Spain? I don't understand. I've got to go to fucking Malaga now.
Like I have uncomfortable conversations like probably about 90% of the day.
I was going to say that's like 98% of my life. I may as well just get a big space helmet full of sand.
Yeah.
And just walk around all the time.
Also, you don't know if you don't know if like the lawn's got them like widgety grub things in them. Like they're not like worms, but they're kind of like
Jed's
maggots.
gonna think about worms, everyone.
Yeah.
Now we know his weakness.
I'm a reasonable person. I just don't want worms in my ears.
Can we have a t-shirt with that on it? Is that too long for an episode title?
No. Oh.
So on that note, I would choose my head flying off.
That would make the podcast very long to record. It's like, oh, Jed's head's gone again. Where's it gone? Oh, it's behind the telly and I can't find it because my eyes are on it.
It would be like in comedy Ghosts, you know, where like they lose their head and like the asshole would be like, "Hey, body, I'm over here." And like the headless body, just like manhandled head, like put me back up.
Oh my god!
All right, Kirsty.
Yeah.
After every shower, you find cryptic messages appear on your bathroom's fogged mirror, even though you live alone. Or you find pictures of yourself on your phone of you sleeping, even though you live alone. I think the author lives alone.
I'd go with the mirror just because, like, I need to charge my phone overnight, and if someone's unplugging it to take pictures of me, even if it is a ghostly being, then I'm gonna struggle through the day because I have my season ticket for the train on my phone, and
that's
have my
your
games
only
on
problem
it.
with that scenario. Yeah. Your phone battery would be full.
I'd be so pissed off. Like
21%.
Yeah, what's happened? Oh, so stop doing it. At least when you've done it, plug it back in, you ghost.
All right, this one's for me, and this is so funny that it's landed on this because, well, would you rather wake up to find your room covered wall to wall with predatory moths, their eyes glowing ominously in the dark? Or what's a fucking organ be? Find yourself in a room filled with butterflies that drink human blood, their razor-sharp wings fluttering threateningly as they swarm towards you. Great present, Kirst. This must have been all of £6. It's going for quantity over quality.
What sort of lunatic wrote this book?
This isn't in the book. This is just what Paul's like estate agent asked him before they moved into the house. Well, we can put the blinds up, but these are your choices.
That is Australian right move, isn't it? I want to buy in this postcode with moths on the walls. What have you got for me, right move?
As I explained to Melody in a Catch-22 style, it's either the nighttime butterflies or the daytime moths. I mean, really, it's the same, isn't it?
It doesn't
it's
say
exactly
that the moths
the same
do anything.
scenario.
No, it doesn't say that the moths do anything. They're just got glowing eyes. Yeah, but it doesn't say that you're the prey.
Good point.
They could be
Good point.
Predatory for something else.
Yeah,
and in which case
one.
you just got moths everywhere.
From context again. Sorry, context.
Can we do that? Can we do one of them every episode? Because that's the funniest bit of the episode.
Yeah.
We just
flog this like a dead horse.
We do would you rathers in every single episode of season 3, all the way through.
Hey, fear fact: if given the chance, butterflies will drink your blood and tears with unsettling delight.
How do you know that?
How was that fun fact?
They will also feast on nectar, mud, gore, and even feces, scavenging for any nutrients possible.
Damn you, butterflies! Sneaky.
I want to check these facts. And who says with unsettling delight? Like sloshing around in your blood, doing like angels, backstrokes.
I want to know the person who did their PhD on butterfly nutrition and was told, you've passed your you've passed your scrutiny of your PhD, but don't say that it's unsettling delight. You haven't proven that anywhere, Doctor.
Yeah. Who made the suggestion? Why don't you put little factoids in here? Go and spend a lot of money and time finding.
I reckon this book was written by someone who started off thinking it was a really great idea, and then it was like, yeah, we need 40 more of these, and he's like, moths.
I want to know who first observed. I want to know the naturalist who first observed them drinking human blood. It's just looking through a telephoto lens of a butterfly with its little butterfly tongue slowly moving towards the blood, and then looking at its eyes dun 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 dun.
When she introduces herself at dinner parties and people go, "Oh, a butterfly scientist, that must be lovely," and she's like, "Yes, lovely." Really doesn't want to ruin the night. Doesn't want to ruin the night by going, "I saw one drunk some rickshaw blood once." Don't invite Janet again. Don't ask Janet what her job is. You think you want to know, but you don't.
Blood is the nectar of the humans.
She wakes one night and there's predatory moths all over her walls, and she's like, "Oh, what?"
If you think about it, we are all flowers, and our blood is but the nectar.
Yeah, I'm going to be making a move. Got a babysitter's just called. She's not well.
The kid or the babysitter? Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
That's literally Kirsty trying to make an exit, but I don't have a clue. She's like forgotten that she doesn't have a kid. The dog just like looking at her like, what? Did you just say out?
A final word, and not to be ungrateful, Kirsty, this is the first time I've opened this book. I was saving it for an episode. Here's one of the little factoids that's in it towards the back. Just a friendly reminder that nature can kill you whenever it wants and then make new things from you.
Oh, that's quite nice. I quite like that.
Good night. Oh no, we're going out on the worms thing. That's in the bag.
Maybe moth season, but we'll see you in season 3. Whoa.